Hello, today I'm unboxing Inish. This is a game from Matagot by Martinez. It plays 2 to 4 players in about 60 minutes, and it's ages 14 and up. So let's see what's inside. But before we do that, let's see which game is heavier, Inish or Kemet. They're both Matagot games. They're about the same size box, same depth, but they're both fairly heavy. They're not the heaviest games I've ever played with, but I know Inish has those, and I can feel them, the land pieces, tiles that are quite heavy. And I think Inish is slightly heavier than Kemet. Alright, let's see what's inside. Okay, so we have a rule book. This is 11 pages. Fairly, it's got a lot of flavor, and I don't know if this is history or lore text here. Has your basic components, setup. Overall, it's a fairly good rule book, although there are a few things that are sort of missing or half explained. But anyways, there's a rule book. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, so there are clansmen here. There should be 12 for each player, for each color. There are 4 colors: green, orange, white, and blue. See, there's 3, 6, 9, and 12. And there should be several sculpts, different figures for each. Although they function the same, but there are, I think, 3 of each. So there's this warrior type guy. There is sort of a young old person. Then here's a lady with like a small stick. But yeah, your basic clansman. All right. Now, there are deed tokens, several of these. Here are pretender tokens, or sort of the crown, I guess somebody could wear. Here is a festival token. This means that when war happens, I guess lose a person. Here is the Bren token, one with a bearded Viking and another lady here. Here is the flock of crows token. This one goes counterclockwise, this one goes clockwise. So, tokens there. What do you think? Alright. So here are citadels. They're pretty good plastics. It's not really much to say about them, although it looks like a city on top of a hill, but here's a spot where you can place a clansman in before a clash. Here are what do you call it? The sanctuaries. These are brown. They're all the same. And here is the capital city, which is also functionally the same as a citadel. It's a little bit bigger, but the starting brand places this. All right, and we've got a bunch of cards. So here are the 4 player aid cards. It goes through the round summary, assembly phase, and then the season phases, and then a clash. And then the card types, which are the basic action cards. There are epic tail cards, and then advantage cards for each different location. Then there are basically two different types of cards. There are season cards and Driscoll cards, and then some other effects. There are 4 of those, one for each player. Oh, what did you grab there? What is this? This is the Lost Veil. So he likes the Lost Veil. That's, you have dominion over the Lost Veil. Alright, so here are epic tail cards. They're red. And the artwork on these cards are amazing. So the Dagda, which is a Driscoll card. When an epic tail card or an advantage card is played, ignore the effect on the card just played and discard it. So there are a lot of different effects here. Ogma's Eloquence. During a clash, as a maneuver, the clash ends immediately. So that's a really good card to play on during a clash. If you know, it depends on if you're the defender or the attacker, but some cards like this, Dire Muid and Grain. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, but anyways, when one of your clans is removed, place the removed clan in a different territory where you are present. This does not initiate a clash, so that could be a good way to move clans over. The Dagda's Club, Maeve's Wealth, Tail 2's Land. So yeah, the artwork on these cards are out of this world. They're amazing. 2-1's Memory. Here's Mananan's Horses. The Morrigan. So all kinds of epic tail cards here. Alright. So here are the advantage cards, which they correspond to these different lands that can populate the map. So here's a Moor, Highlands, Misty Lands, Iron Mine, all kinds of little places, areas. Alright, so for each land there'll be a corresponding card, and there are slight advantages for them. So the hills, for example, when an attack maneuver is performed against you in the hills, ignore the attack. You do not remove a clan or discard an action card. So that could be pretty good if you're the defender. Forest, after you play an epic tail card, draw 1 epic tail card. So you don't lose epic tails, basically. Iron Mine, when you perform an attack maneuver, the attack player must both remove 1 exposed clan and discard 1 action card. So that's pretty good if you're the defender as well. And so there are a bunch of these advantage cards. Here are the main cards, which are the season cards. There are, I believe, 17 of these, and one of them, well, it depends on how many players you have, but some of them will be removed with a 3-player game or a 2-player game, I believe. I don't remember, but anyways. So festival cards, in a territory both where you are present and that has 1 or more sanctuaries, place one of your clans and the festival token there. A player who initiates a clash in that territory moves one of his clans from there. At the end of the season, remove the festival token. So basically, you have a party, and anybody that tries to crash it dies. So that could be good. But they can still crash it if they really are forceful, but you know, they're going to pay. Druid, if the Druid is the last action card in your hand, you cannot play it. Look at the discarded action cards and add 1 to your hand. So you play it. If somebody else has a card that you didn't draw, you didn't draft, and you wanted to play that this round, you could, you know, after they played it, take it back and play it for yourself. There's the Master Craftsman, the Geis, the Bard, draw 1 Epic Tale card. After one of your, or this is a season portion of it, or you could play it as a Triskel card. After one of your maneuvers removes one or more opposing clans, gain 1 deed. So, and deeds basically are wild portions of your victory conditions that can be met. So usually you need 6 areas to occupy, or be lore the chieftain over 6 or more clans, or have presence in an area with 6 or more sanctuaries, and these can be, wilds of those. New allegiance in a territory where you're present, place 1 clan, or here's another condition for it. So all of these are the ones that will be prevalent in each hand. So like you will have to play one of these or draw one of these. They're the basic cards. So exploration, that's a pretty good one. I like playing this one. The brain chooses 1 empty location adjacent to 2 territories. Draw 1 new territory and place it there. Then place 1 clan in this new territory. So there's that. Conquest, scouts and spies, raid. During a clash, after you have performed an attack maneuver, take 1 random action card from the attack player's hand. If the attack player has 0 action cards, remove 1 of his exposed clans instead. So this is a good maneuver. And then of course they're all situational. So migration, that's pretty good. New clans, that's a great one. So yeah, that's what's inside of Inish. Now let's see if it all fits back in. So let me arrange all of this here. Watch. Be careful with his little toes. Alright, baggies. I don't think they came with baggies, but I could be wrong. Anyways, let's see. What do you think? Magically, they all fit. Alright, big box with a lot of room for another game, possibly. Alright, hello. Today we played Inish here at Black Apple Crossing in Springdale, Arkansas. So this was not my first playthrough, but this was y'all's first, right?
Yes.
So, what do you think? What's your first impression?
We can bring out the little thingamajigs.
Yeah.
Art is amazing. I really enjoyed that, and I could knock it over. Thank you. These things don't have the art. I was looking for cards that had the art.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Actually, I can bring these out while you guys talk. This is my handing off mechanic.
It's a wonderful mechanic.
Yes.
I liked it. Pretty interesting. The drafting part of it was.
Yeah.
I guess you can cut to art.
Yeah.
You'll cut to art.
Yeah.
Here, cut to the card of exploration.
Exploration.
There you go. Yeah, no, the art is amazing.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I mean, if once we got the rules down, I think that really helped, and it flowed really well.
Yeah.
The mechanics were really quite fluid. The only thing we got stuck on was fighting, only because if you played a lot of board games with fighting in it, the mechanics here are a little bit different in ways that kind of tripped us up, so we had to check back in the rules on. So
Yeah, not quite as intuitive
right.
as it felt
No,
like.
I think I understood them, but it wasn't like intuitive. Like I think I understood them, but then when I got into the battle, I didn't understand them.
Yeah, that's how it
And
was too.
then I lost. Like, but I
Right.
could understand when like you got other guys were fighting. I think I
Right.
understood
Right.
it
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was much easier to figure out what to do when you weren't, you didn't have anything at stake.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like once I if I do this, I can fight. I'll win. No, I lost all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
No, that was not.
Right.
Yeah, that was still like if I had any
Yeah.
complaint. Complaints is a big word.
Say
Yeah.
complain.
But it was
Yeah.
basically it's something where once you learn what the strategy is for what you can
Yeah.
lose and what you can afford to lose,
Yeah.
like when to quit in a battle is harder to tell than it seemed at the beginning. Like
Right.
if you're playing Risk, like okay, well we'll just roll the dice until somebody's lost.
Right.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
game, it's like No, I'm done losing stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was something I think like the second or third playthrough,
Yeah.
you would have no problem with that.
Yeah.
The drafting was so fast though compared
Yes.
to other
Yeah.
drafting games I played.
Because you've got a set amount of cards, and once you kind of learn them, you
Yeah.
know, 1 or 2 rounds
There's-
in, you know what you need to keep. And
Yeah.
I do like that it has that one card that sets to the side.
Yeah.
So
When you can't get.
You don't
yeah.
always
you don't
have
always
perfect
know what
knowledge.
everyone's
Yeah.
going to have, but you can kind of guess
Yeah.
what's happening.
Right. You're waiting for somebody to play this card, and waiting for
And
somebody to play this other
This
card.
does benefit from playing 2 or 3 times because then you get the
Yeah.
mechanic of the fighting better. You get the mechanic
You get a
of
little bit of you get a little bit of an engine almost.
Yes.
You know, if I'm going to combat for
I
this
do.
round, I want to pull these cards. I just want
Those
to
epic
spread.
tail cards, I think
that's going
the
to be
7th
long
or 8th
term.
time you play,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're going
yeah.
to see more of those, and you're going to go, oh, okay, yes, finally, I've got this one.
Because I
Yeah.
saw 4 maybe,
Yeah.
and the deck
Yeah.
is much bigger than that.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
So I think I think there's other games where if you play it 5 times, you're going to beat anyone that's played it less. But I think here, it with knowing all the cards, you're going to have a benefit, but I don't think you're going to have a huge
Right.
benefit
Right.
over someone who's played it
Yeah.
twice
Yeah.
or
Right.
something. And I think I
There's
would play
always
this.
something good to do on your turn. Like
Yeah, you
that,
know,
that was pretty satisfying. Even when you were losing like pieces,
Yeah.
you could. I mean, you almost won, even though
Right.
we had some disastrous
Hey,
battles.
what's going on, man? We're on camera, but
No, you're all good. You're all good.
no, you're good. You're good. He's good.
Yeah, no, and I skipped one time. I did 3 things, and then I skipped, and you guys kept playing 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was that far
No,
behind.
Right,
You-
right.
In the end, I was still 4 of the 6 things to win.
Right.
Right,
I
right.
wasn't. I think there's still, and that was halfway through the game. I was like, oh, I think I know what I need to do.
Right,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first
There,
playthrough.
there was just enough difference in the win conditions
Yeah.
that we were all kind of in contention for different win
Different
conditions.
things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it just squeaked out at
Yeah.
the very
It
end.
felt close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you don't
I was
always
only
get
too
that.
short too of controlling.
I
Right.
would.
To be honest,
I
too,
want to.
so.
I would want to play more games because ours turned down to one person was going to win it. We fought them so they didn't win, and then someone else
Which is,
won.
Yeah.
which is quite often what happens.
Yeah, that's, is that, yeah, I don't know if that
But-
would be a continuing
But it,
thing.
Right.
but it could have been that I didn't have the card
The right
Yeah.
card, yeah.
to swoop in at the end,
Yeah.
and it could have been up to 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that next turn would have been a mad scramble for the win conditions.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of
Yeah.
And not only that, but I thought I could have played it better. You know,
Yes.
not
me too.
starting off with that.
Right.
You know, okay, I've got 6
Right.
now. I'm a target.
Right.
Should have
Right.
played it last, sort of.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
right.
there wasn't
Yes.
an
Not
obvious.
letting yourself be turned.
There
No
wasn't
best
an obvious
way to
best
play.
way to play.
Yeah, because I realized after my second turn I had messed up horribly,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh wait, what do I do? I was still in contention even after that,
Yeah.
even though you guys I don't think had done because I went into this battle thinking I was gonna
Yeah.
I lost horribly,
Yeah.
and then I was still in contention for winning, maybe not top, but I played games before where if you make one mistake
Right.
in any turn you're done.
I think
So-
the win conditions not being that you're present and not having to control it
Right.
is huge. As long as you have one dude still there,
Right.
you
Yeah.
don't have
yeah,
to run
the,
it.
the,
so.
yeah, if you have to control it,
And
that
I,
changes it.
that was
completely.
actually where I misunderstood. At the beginning, I thought you had to control, so I was struggling. I was spending a lot of time
Yeah.
trying to keep one. And I didn't need to keep that whole area. I just needed to
Right.
keep one dude.
But even if you spent the first 2/3 of the game just trying to control a couple of territories, the cards let you be flexible enough
right, move off. And
Yeah.
that
can
you can
move off
change
of
your
those. You
strategy
can do that, yeah.
in 2 cards and spread your
Yeah.
people all across the board very quickly.
Now I did notice, for me anyway, the advantage cards were not very helpful.
No, they
They helped me. Like one
they?
of them
Did they?
lets me add every time I played a season card or something.
Okay.
yeah.
It felt like added
Yeah.
flavor, but not
Yeah.
an
Yeah,
advantage.
but maybe it depended
Yeah.
on the ones you
Yeah.
caught
Yeah,
and
like, yeah.
what you were doing.
It was
Yeah.
very situational.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I held on to one of the ones that I had was the hills, which
Yeah.
if we had had another fight, having the hills card in your hand was a
Right.
big advantage.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like depending on which territories come
Right.
out as part of your game.
Yeah. No, but it's a good thing that it wasn't overpowered. Like it
Right,
they,
no.
they were
was
not
just flavor
overpowered.
and
Because
that's
Yeah.
at
it.
the beginning,
It
I was
was
like, well, I
just
want to control
enough.
these so I can get
Yeah.
these yellow cards. And
Right.
when I had
Yeah.
them, I was like, oh, I
No,
never
they
really
weren't.
used them.
They didn't
I
make you
like it.
dominate.
Yeah, no,
which-
I like that. They don't
which-
make you
yeah.
dominating. They just
Yeah.
add some extra flavor and some extra abilities. Like I got to do something a little fancy, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's nice," but it didn't really matter.
Right,
You know,
right.
It's a nice added thing. I did.
Yeah.
You guys reminded me. There was one where we have the regular cards, the action cards, and
Yeah.
then the epic cards.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they are the same design,
Oh,
yeah.
but red green.
Yeah.
So, green.
Being red green colorblind made the back of the cards. If you are red green colorblind, I highly suggest having somebody tell you which cards are which and marking them somehow, because I 100% thought they were the same cards. And
Yeah.
almost shuffled them all together.
There's a slight difference, not on this side.
can,
This side,
yeah.
they're the same.
back.
But at the back, there's
Yeah.
a slight difference in
If
design.
you have one in
That's
your
something to think
hand,
about.
you can tell the difference between them. But if you're drawing them out of different decks,
Actually,
I had a
that
hard
would
time
be
telling them.
that would be not beneficial for if you couldn't tell what I had in my hand because
Right.
I had
I had to
Couldn't
ask.
see how
yeah,
many-
you were like
Yeah.
who has this and that like
Right.
that's
But
And
at
then he's
least,
all open.
at least the plastic guys that you put on the board were separate enough in color that I think even people with more color blindness than I have would be able to tell the
we use all
pieces
the
apart.
colors?
We did, yeah.
okay. So that wouldn't
So,
be a problem.
Yeah, so
Since we
it
use
wasn't
them all.
it wasn't impossible to play as somebody with red green
Right.
color blindness, but just those two card colors on the backs.
I'm trying to think of someone
Some designers just changing the
Right.
something,
Yeah, just having
something on the
different
back of
design.
that
Yeah.
is
Yeah, or making them more distinct variations
Right.
in terms of how light or dark the colors
Right.
are.
Yeah.
I was thinking so this dice has no game. This game has no dice.
Yeah.
So I am a fan of randomness. So when it didn't have dice, I was like, I don't know. But it's still fun and random because of the draft mechanic
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
randomness
No,
and stuff.
no, this game does have dice.
Well, it has it has one die.
That you determine who goes first.
Yes, but then otherwise it doesn't
That's a
use
special.
dice.
That's a special
Yeah,
expansion
it's a-
feature.
I actually,
Yes.
I actually really appreciated that because my one of my least favorite games of all time is Risk, just because
Nice
I'm the
die.
guy who rolls
Yeah.
loss.
Right.
Okay, eventually the dice will let me win. Nope, loss. So
So do you like having this type of battle mechanic, for example, like Inish, what do you call it, Blood Rage, and what's that other Simon game, Rising Sun,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it's not determined by, it's sort of somewhat,
Right.
There's some choice involved.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
who has the most to lose and who's willing to
Give
go
up.
a little bit more in debt
Yeah.
to take the victory. I appreciate that because it feels a little
Exactly,
bit
yeah.
more together.
I'm good.
We're good.
I'm good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. No. I did like once after like halfway through I realized who could I be attacking? Where should I
Right.
go? Because this person has this X amount of green cards to get rid of.
Right.
If they have 3 more than I do, if I go into that,
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
lose. That's what
When
like
I-
that's what I learned.
Yeah, you had to be really strategic about when you were getting into conflict. And
Or
knowing-
even, I realized when you go into conflict, sometimes giving up a guy is better than giving up all your cards.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I kept giving up cards
Absolutely.
because you feel like you don't want to lose any people,
Yeah.
but that
it was
messed
much
me
easier
up.
to get people on the board than to get new cards.
Get new cards, yeah.
Yes.
And that was
And it makes it
that's
just
different
more
than most
impactful,
games.
you
You
know?
don't
Yeah.
think about that in most games.
And
But I
also-
totally, by the end, I was like, man, I was doing this all wrong.
I do like it because you don't know for certain how it's going to go because you don't know is the other person going to give up the card or the
Yeah.
person.
Right.
So
yeah.
there is enough randomness and choice in it where you can't just this is my turn at the beginning
Right.
of it. I'm going to win. Like
Right,
no,
right.
there's
you don't
there's
know. Or an epic card that's going to throw you
Yeah,
completely off.
That.
I mean,
You pulled out a few of those. Nope, that's
Yeah.
not going to
yeah,
happen.
but I did enjoy that. I played it
Yeah.
twice. I
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
wish there was more of these.
There was- I had a
Yeah,
couple-
I
had
wish it was a
some,
little
too.
bit easier to get the epic
Yes, more the epics because
tail
then
cards.
Yeah, it was
because we,
tough
we
to
saw
get those.
like 4. We didn't see
Well,
the whole deck.
we also there is the card that you get in drafting, and I think we pulled it out a couple of times, or
Right.
people decide or they discarded
Or discard
it,
it.
where you can just play it and get an epic tail card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think part of it was how we chose to play that we didn't pull
Because
those
that one
epic
has
cards.
the choice. You can
Yeah,
do
you
it
can
to
either
get the
just play
epic,
it and get an
or
epic
you
tail
play.
card.
If you
If you
played an
played
epic,
it,
you can
you
do
can
it to get.
Part of it was just we
Yeah.
didn't know how good the epic
Inexperienced,
tail
yeah.
cards were
Yeah.
and how much they could change the play. Of course, I drew an epic tail card and I
Mine
was very,
useless.
very happy to get rid of it eventually,
Right.
because it wasn't as impactful as
Yeah.
I wanted
And
it
again,
to be.
for what you were doing. 'Cause
Right,
It's going to
exactly.
change
But
every time.
I think if I had pulled one of the other ones that we saw in the
Right.
game, I would have been very happy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
like that's when
it's
I
a
I
little
had,
bit more of a gamble.
I played that one so I could draw an epic card, and I had to
Yeah.
draw it so I could get that card back. So then when
Right,
I
that
played
was
the
great.
epic card, so that I could get another token to win.
Right.
But the epic card I drew was at the beginning of the round, and I was like, oh well,
Right.
this is yeah.
Right, but that point is useless.
Yeah.
So like they're hit or miss. I
It's
like them.
situational.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of
situational.
situational.
I I'm nitpicking. It was fun and I
mean,
liked it.
Yeah, it was still also first game.
First
so
game.
Yeah. So like,
It's definitely one I want to play again and
I would
figure some things out.
Yeah.
I would
think that
play
was-
this again more than a game where there's other games where like if you play it once or twice, you know how to play. And this
Yeah.
game's to win. This is more random and player associated,
Yeah,
so I
for
don't
sure.
feel like I'd have a super advantage
Right.
over someone
Yeah.
who
Right.
hasn't played.
Yeah.
Right.
The only advantage I think that you would have is just being able to explain the rules really clearly.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, because
like,
that's
knowing how
awesome.
the battle works exactly determines.
Right.
Do I keep cards or do I get rid of my people first?
Right.
Like that, and I think that's where I screwed up a
Yeah.
lot. That
Right.
3-4 games in, I would have that down and know exactly.
So like, at what point did you fully learn the game? Was it like midway through or towards the end?
I felt
Midway, maybe.
halfway or 2/3 of the way
Yeah.
through. I felt like,
Yeah.
okay, I kind of know what I'm doing now. I
Yeah.
know which cards to choose, which cards I like
Right.
Yeah.
when I see them in the
Yeah.
draft, and which cards I will grudgingly accept this card because I think I can
Yeah.
figure out how to use it.
Yeah,
Right.
and like I knew like when I draft, like I will not. This is not a good card for this turn. I was like around the last turn, the second to last turn, I was like, nope, I don't need this one.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with
Right.
someone else having this because it's not for my situation.
Right. Yeah, but you could easily hate draft.
yeah.
Right.
Like
Oh,
knowing,
yeah.
well, the next person
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
these, like,
Yeah, you can
I
have-
don't want him to
Right.
have conquest. I don't want him
Any
to
of the
have,
battle, yeah.
Yeah.
like, X or Y card. So
for sure.
there is a lot of strategy in the drafting.
So like first just give 3, then 2, then 1. What did you think of that type of drafting?
I think it was probably the best.
I like that.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot, but I found myself treating it like I do other drafting.
Yeah.
Where the first round, I would pick the one, I'd put it down,
Yeah.
hand it off, someone would
Yeah.
give me 3,
Yeah.
and I knew that I wanted this card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But after the first 2 turns, I would still want to pick, but
Right.
after
Yeah.
halfway through that
Yeah,
first
'cause
game,
the first-
I
You know
know
what
what
you
I
want.
wanted.
Yeah.
First two for you don't know what cards are
Yeah,
coming
no.
next.
And usually,
Yeah.
like that first hand, there's something good that you want.
Yeah.
If I was 4 cards, I was like, it would. I don't want it to change. That's the main. I don't want it to change. I like the
Yeah.
mechanic because if that first hand I get 4 things, I'm like,
You can get rid of
But
it.
but
I
if
can
you're,
get rid
but
of
if you're
it.
a gambler, like the ability
Yeah.
to throw like 3 cards down and be like, I'll just see what comes up.
Comes up, yeah.
Like,
You just don't know.
I
Particularly
liked
if you,
it.
if you like the cards that other people don't seem to like, if you like the
Right.
cards where you're going to be fighting, like
That's
you
true,
could
yeah.
easily just be like, oh yeah, send
All
all the fight
conquest,
cards to me. We're going to
Yeah.
have a
Or
clash.
depending, because you keep your epic cards.
You keep
Depending
those-
what you have there, that can determine what you want to get.
I do
in your
like
action
that
cards.
keeping the
Because
epics.
that
Yeah.
can change. Because your epic cards can be all defensive or all combat, and that'll change what you
Right.
want in the.
Yeah.
in your
As
action
much as I
cards, too.
didn't like it, I did like the fact that you had to only choose from the green cards to get rid of for combat.
Yes.
Like I wanted to be able
Yeah.
to discard other ones, but then I also
Yeah.
didn't because it was
Yeah, but they're also a rare resource.
Yeah, like,
so
and it's more normalized for round to round.
Right.
Like if someone's dominating the first 2 rounds, if they had the option to get rid of these for in combat, I think that would be too much of an advantage.
Or these, if you control a bunch, you have 3 or 4 of these.
Yes.
That
Right.
nobody else has.
Yeah,
you
so
have
that
more
would be
advantage
an
in combat. So it
unfair
keeps
advantage, I
combat
think.
pretty even.
I do like that. And like, if you still invade with 3 and they have 1, you have an advantage. But if they have more
Which
cards,
is where I also like the pass technique, which is different than some games where you can pass but jump back in if no one else has.
yes,
So
I
you
do
can
like
hold
that.
on to a whole bunch of cards where everybody else is losing theirs, and then go into combat because they don't have any left.
Yeah.
Like you could do, which I don't
So-
think any of us
so long-
did.
But you have to.
So long as
you have
you-
to
So
kind of
yeah,
guess.
so long as you are finessing it where you know, okay, well that person's definitely gonna keep
Right,
playing,
right.
Yeah.
so I can pass this turn and
Right.
pop back
Because if
in
you
next
don't,
turn.
Right.
you've got those 3 cards
Yeah.
where
You can lose
oh,
them.
Right.
it's
Yes.
the end of the round.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
It's-
so I don't know. I think on balance, the game is really well.
It is very balanced.
Yeah,
I think
like,
it is. Yeah, I felt like I messed up horribly and I still had a chance.
Yeah,
And-
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we were all. Everyone
Yeah.
was like 1 turn from winning,
Yeah.
and if you had just gotten if somebody had gotten different cards that
Yeah.
last
Yep.
turn, it
Yep.
would have gone. We could have gone 2 more turns, and maybe
Yep.
nobody had won,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
anybody
and
else could have
even
taken it.
who won? Did you win?
I did.
Yeah.
I won.
And that's like the 2 turns before. I actually was invading something, and I picked you twice to attack.
Right.
Right.
I was still whittling you down, and then
Yeah.
you still won. So it's not like just because you get attacked,
Right.
you
Right.
lose or
Right,
anything.
right.
Yeah, I mean the ability to basically like either pull a card that drops two people on the
Yes.
map, or the
Or move
druid
out, yeah.
so you can, when somebody drops 2 people, you can play it and be like, yep, now I drop 2 people on the map. Like that ability to just go, yep, I'm gonna drop two units on the map is big. That's a massive shift.
And I think there's 1 card per round. It's not always picks. It could be that 1 out where it expands it, so it doesn't expand too much. So someone doesn't get too fast exploding for people.
But you almost won on pure expansion cards.
Yeah.
Because you drop a person each time you expand. I never got 1 expand card the whole time.
Well, I don't see a
I never saw one.
Can you think of a reason not to pick that up if it's in your first 4?
Yeah, because if you're not brand, they can put your new, like, so the first
farther
player
away from everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
else.
And so if you are basing your strategy on, okay, well, I'm gonna be doing some clashes here and here,
or sanctuaries,
or I'm gonna drop a sanctuary. Like, I a couple of times I specifically passed it just because I couldn't come up with a good way to tie that into what else I was doing.
That means good game design. Can
So,
you guys think of 1 card that we saw that you would not pick? Oh, hey, Dalton. 1 card that you like.
Depending on what you're doing.
Well, no. Wait, actually, a better question: is there a card that you would always pick if you saw it first?
Expansion. Like that one's my favorite.
Well, and
Exploration,
dropping the two.
I like the drop in the 2.
Yeah.
That
you have to
one
already
was,
be there.
But there was 1 draft where I passed it. So even though it was probably my most useful card, and I wanted to see it every turn.
But it's not a guarantee.
But you only drop where you already have people. So sometimes I
That
chose
was my
ones
problem.
where I could move the emissaries,
That's
where
why I
you
liked
could move
the,
somebody without conflict.
I like the festival too, preventing conflict.
That was good.
That was.
I think the weakest one the one I didn't like, but still was useful, like depending on the situation, was play this whenever somebody plays an action or something.
Yeah.
That was like a round 2 or 3 or 4. Like after 1.
I mean, it when it works really well. But
I'm just thinking
you don't want to
there's.
be you don't want to be holding it at the end.
I'm just thinking, as far as game design goes, if there's a card that you would always pick no matter what, I would think that would be a bad thing of game design. Like that means that like there's something missing or something, but I can't think of a card.
There's no one that was overly powerful.
Yeah, like I can't think of a card that if I see it, it's done.
Yeah, there was no one strategy that would guarantee you the win. Either, always choose to expand. Yeah, but there are several cards that let people come in and contest.
Right.
And since you have to be in between 2 territories always when you add a new piece, you're always in conflict because there's never a piece with nobody on it.
Very rarely.
Yeah, I can't think of, like, my 2 favorite was the put 2 or expand, but still, they're not guaranteed picks.
No.
There's other things that are
I think, like you
pending.
said, as far as game design, that's good because, like, I never saw the expand one.
Yeah.
But that didn't make me so far below because I never got that one.
No.
It balanced it to where the other ones were good too.
Well, and even when you were doing a clash and it was 1-on-1, nobody was guaranteed to take away the victory.
Right.
Like.
And I do like the mechanic that you can just opt to just.
Yeah.
So if you're just trying to travel or just trying to have 1 dude so you can be next to a sanctuary, you can just be like, nope, I'm not. We're just gonna truce.
Yeah.
I kind of like that option, like, because it could be beneficial.
Yeah, I do wish the mechanic of fighting was easier to understand.
And that's what game 2 or 3 it may become. It may all of a sudden click and just.
It would be one of
It
those
was
things
really
where
hard for
I
me
think the real detriment is if you play a lot of board games, then
different.
you have a lot of conflict over territory control.
In all these other games, it's like this.
And so it's
that's not a bad thing that's different here.
Right. It's
like I like how it works here. It just takes a minute to understand.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I like it, I can understand it, and it works for the game.
And I think actually the problem is not the mechanic, it is the card that tells you what to do doesn't break it down.
Yeah.
To set
the player
like,
thing?
Yeah, like
player
it doesn't
summary.
quite give me enough information where we had to talk through it every time.
And I think you also said, like, if it had the win mechanic, like the win sit out, that would be a good benefit on there. Okay.
So final thoughts. What do you think?
I'm gonna hand it off way down this side.
Yeah, I think it, like, for me, it's a definite buy. I had a lot of fun with it. Not so random. Lots of strategy. Lots of different ways to win. Only a handful of mechanics to really master before you feel like you can play it. And once you know the mechanics, you can play it really fast. And I'm into that.
Yeah, I agree. Really good. Like basically the same thing. There's not a lot you can do in each turn, so it's pretty quick doing it, and it doesn't take that long to learn, except for the combat part. And yeah, I definitely want to play it again for sure.
Yeah, I want to play it again. I like board games that tell stories. I'm an RPG fan, and this one doesn't tell a story, but it does at the same time. You can, as you're playing, you'd be like, I'm just having babies over here, or I'm migrating over here. It does enough for me to be like, this is cute and fun, and you're doing all the things. It's not too just mechanic-y. I do my turn, you do your turn.
It's not a bunch of math.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not having
Like,
to math it out.
I don't. It's fine. It's fun. All the mechanics are simple. The combat is weird. Like you said, it's just because we've seen it way other ways.
Yeah.
It's fine. I think if they didn't play test this for a long time, I'd be surprised. I would think they got lucky because this feels really play tested and smooth and balanced.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would play it multiple times even if I keep losing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Same thing. I agree. I think it's fairly easy to learn.
It was,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Once you get into it, and plus, like, I think that it really turns the dudes on the map, type of game on its head, and like,
Yeah, I
it's
usually
not
don't like those.
control,
Right.
by having the most or dice rolling or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's sort of like a funneled tactic. Like you've got a certain amount of things you can do. You do it. It's very
But even if you
blunt
don't,
about it.
yeah.
And,
Even if you don't do something, it's not the worst.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
If it's quick enough that your passing's not, you're not sitting there forever. waiting
No.
for something. There's not really a lot of AP. I think my AP personally was reading the cards.
Yeah.
Once you know 'em, you're
Actually, yeah, that was one card's really long. And
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to read this,
Yeah.
but it was a good card. Yeah, no, it was fun.
All right, so that's Inish
Inish.
Oh,
Boom.
man.
migrated.
Battle
Nice.
Line's in here too. That's exciting.
Cool.
I was wondering what else.
That's
was
a
taking
good.
up the
That's a
place.
good.